What if faith had a price tag? What if holiness could be bought and sold? Bones, blood, and pieces of cloth, traded like gold. Over the last 5 years, more than $1 billion worth of relics changed hands. $1 billion. From Vatican vaults to dark web auctions, faith has never been more expensive. Stay with us for around 10 minutes, and you'll understand how the sacred became a billion-dollar business. Oh yes, holiness for sale. From the tombs of martyrs, to medieval fairs where miracles had price tags, from Luther's rebellion, to 21st century police raids on monasteries, we'll follow the long road, from faith to fortune, from belief to billion-dollar trade. Ready? Let's begin where it all started, at a grave. It all started with devotion. Early Christians prayed at the graves of martyrs, simple, quiet acts of faith. They came seeking comfort, not commerce. They brought candles, oil, and sometimes a coin or two, a humble offering for the soul of a saint. But something unexpected happened. Pilgrims came, and kept coming, and wherever pilgrims arrived, so did money. Towns built around tombs, markets sprouted beside altars. Faith had found its first business model. The church noticed. Oh yes, it did. The more relics a shrine held, the more pilgrims arrived. A piece of the true cross here, a lock of hair there, and suddenly, the donations overflowed. Relics became spiritual capital. A fragment of bone could build a basilica, a drop of blood could fill a treasury. Boom, holiness turned into economy. Soon came the age of furta sacra, holy thefts, monks sneaking out relics from rival monasteries, claiming the saint wanted to be moved. And the people believed it, because who would dare question divine will? Every relic had a price, not set in gold, but in salvation. A town without relics was invisible. A town with them, prosperous, protected, blessed. Faith had become a contest, a holy competition. And that competition exploded into a full-scale holy arms race. Welcome to the Middle Ages, the wild bazaar of belief. Cathedrals rose like fortresses of faith, each promising greater miracles than the last. Rome had Peter and Paul. Constantinople had chests of saints. Santiago de Compostela drew oceans of pilgrims with a single tomb. Every city wanted more relics, and what they couldn't get, they copied. There were 10 heads of John the Baptist, 3 entire bodies of Saint Anne, and nobody seemed to mind. Faith was elastic. The more relics, the more grace. Merchants carried holy fingers hidden in barrels of oil. Crusaders brought back bones, icons, even shrouds, spoils of piety. And pilgrims? They came in droves. Imagine a humble farmer walking barefoot for weeks, carrying his last coin, just to touch the shrine that promised healing or forgiveness. That moment, his trembling hand on the glass, was priceless. Relic fairs turned faith into spectacle. Tents overflowed with vials, bones, and bits of the cross. You could buy a miracle, or at least the hope of one. Boom! Religion had found its marketplace, and where there's competition, there's corruption waiting in the wings. And when competition turned to corruption, rebellion was inevitable. By the 16th century, the church had lost control of its own holiness. Martin Luther had seen enough. Nails from the true cross, feathers from angels, tears from Mary, all sold for salvation. No more. He nailed his 95 Theses to the church door in Wittenberg. Boom. And Europe shook. He accused the church of turning heaven into a business. Relics became symbols of deceit, indulgence, hypocrisy. Across Europe, Protestant reformers smashed shrines and burned reliquaries. Monks hid bones in walls. Bishops smuggled treasures out by night. Faith went underground, literally. But here's the irony. When something sacred is forbidden, it becomes even more valuable. Collectors whispered. Kings traded relics in secret, and a black market of belief was born. Fast forward to our time, relics again spark power struggles. In Ukraine, the Lavra relic scandal saw faith collide with politics. Accusations of desecration, disputes over ownership, sacred remains caught in the middle. They tried to bury the relic trade, but faith, like every saint, has a way of resurrecting. Welcome to the modern resurrection, the relic market reborn online. The holy trade has moved from cathedrals to keyboards, and the results? Unholy profits. Online, you can find first-class relics with glossy photos and fake certificates. Click, pay, ship, pray. Simple as that. Dealers use clever language. Private collection, spiritual exchange, gift donation. Buyers pay through crypto, PayPal, or offshore accounts. No confession required. But some stories break hearts. In 2025, Greek police arrested an abbot caught selling Byzantine relics and icons through European networks. His excuse? Family inheritance. Classic. That same year, a relic of Carlo Acutis, the young millennial saint, was stolen in Venezuela. Days later, another disappeared in Argentina. Communities mourned like families who'd lost a loved one, and it continued. A bone of Mary Magdalene stolen in Utah, a jeweled crown torn from a Virgin Mary statue in Philadelphia. Different crimes, same pattern. Holiness vanishes. Money appears. And guess what? Every theft sparks demand. When something sacred disappears, people rush to replace it. That's the cruel miracle of commerce. Loss creates profit. Every stolen relic leads to one thing: money. So, let's follow the money behind faith. Relics aren't just holy, they're useful. They draw pilgrims, inspire donations, and give churches prestige. Each relic becomes a revenue stream with a halo. Behind the scenes, intermediaries make it work. Priests loan relics. Dealers donate them. Collectors hoard them like art investors. Auction houses pretend not to know. And the church? It condemns the practice, but quietly enjoys the tourism. Governments occasionally step in. India stopped an auction of Buddha relics. Interpol reports that 8% of stolen art comes from churches. 8%, billions of dollars in sanctified loot. Relics have become a global commodity. They are faith-backed securities. And holiness? Still for sale, just better marketed. Because where there's profit, there's pretense. And in the relic world, pretense means fraud. Canon law forbids selling relics, officially, but loopholes keep it alive. It's not a sale, it's a gift. Not a trade, but a donation. Not a crime, but tradition. Fake certificates flood the internet. Authentic St. Bones turn out to be animal fragments. Holy blood is red ink in a vial. Ancient wood from the true cross? Probably IKEA pine. Buyers often don't care. If it feels divine, it is. Faith can make even a fake feel true. But, when fraud collapses, scandal follows. The Greek abbot, exposed. The Carlo Acutis relics, resold online. The church embarrassed, believers disillusioned. And yet, every exposure makes the next sale easier. Because once you admit holiness has value, someone will trade it. Fraud fools the mind, but faith feeds the heart. And beyond crime and commerce lies the real story. Our need for the sacred. We don't just want to believe, we want to touch belief. We need something physical, tangible, real. A relic is proof, or at least, the feeling of proof. Touching it feels like crossing a border between earth and heaven. That's why people still kneel, still cry, still travel miles for a fragment of cloth. Technology tries to debunk faith, DNA scans, carbon dating, X-rays, but it only makes people more fascinated. If science proves it's real, miracle. If science proves it's fake, persecution. When Carlo Acutis' relic was stolen, entire parishes mourned. They didn't lose fabric, they lost connection. That relic was their bridge to something eternal. When it vanished, part of their faith went with it. The same in Utah, where the Mary Magdalene relic disappeared. A small bone, but an enormous wound. Because relics are hope, materialized. And hope once stolen can't be refunded. For 2,000 years, relics built cathedrals, crowned kings and funded wars. They inspired pilgrims, thieves, emperors, and now, collectors with Wi-Fi. In 2025, the relic trade is still alive. Faith meets finance, devotion meets demand, and holiness still up for sale. So what's the real question? Not whether relics should be sold, but who profits from sacredness? Because even the most holy things leave a financial trail. If you enjoyed this journey through faith and fortune, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Which relic story shocked you most? So next time you see a relic under glass, remember, history isn't finished. Stay curious.